Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the Weekly Wash. We've finally rolled right through into the double digits, and in today's episode I've got no leafy vegetables for you whatsoever, just chunky bits on the plate. I've got two recommendations for you, two of which are drinks and one of which is a movie. Up and away. So recommendation number one, and also drink number one, is Four Sigmatic's Lion's Mane Elixir. And the Lion's Mane Elixir is a powderized hot drink that is made from a particular type of mushroom that generally grows on wood. And the mushroom is called lion's mane because, well, it looks a little bit like a lion's mane. So right now you might be wondering why on earth someone would want to drink a mushroom that's been powderized and then rehydrated in the form of a hot drink. Well, one reason for drinking such a drink is that research has shown regular consumption of lion's mane may promote nerve and brain health. And it's particularly believed to be beneficial for neurogenesis, which is the production of new neurons in the brain. This, of course, has practical applications for the treatment of diseases in particular where neurons either degenerate or die, such as Alzheimer's. It's also been suggested that consuming lion's mane may improve cognitive function. And that is actually why I personally drink the elixir, because I do feel that in periods of time where I have, say, drunk the lion's mane elixir over the course of the past couple of days, or even sometimes it feels like a relatively immediate effect, I feel that I am performing cognitively better. That could be a placebo effect, but it still feels that way. There are a number of benefits that I've personally experienced from drinking lion's mane elixir, one of which is a sharper focus on the task at hand, or also I've experienced a lot less brain fog throughout the day, which I have been prone to in the past. But by far and away, the biggest benefit that I've experienced is a much better ability at retrieving and using language for communication. To put it more simply, I feel like I write with way more clarity and I'm able to speak with people using the right words in the right places, not stumbling over every single word and saying things like, oh, what's the word? And then just, tapping my fingers over and over again and going, oh, I can't remember it, and ending up feeling really embarrassed. Now, there are actually a lot of companies that are selling lion's mane supplements in one form or another. You can get pills, you can get other drinks, or you can get powders. But what I would warn you about is that there are a lot of shills out there, and there are definitely companies that are selling powders that are actually about 80% brown rice, because a lot of the time when they're selling the mycelium of the mushroom, the roots, that's actually grown on brown rice, and it becomes very difficult to separate the mycelium from the rice. So they just blend it all up together and you're basically just having rice. That's not really going to have a big effect. Another thing I would say is that lion's mane elixir from Four Sigmatic is the only product, there may be more, I've just not been able to find them very easily. It's the only product that seems to use a dual extraction process for making their drinks, involving, I think it's alcohol is one form of extraction, and then the other form is through hot water, boiling hot water. Don't ask me any more than that because I won't be able to tell you. Okay then, so I started with a drink that promotes brain cell growth, and now I'm going to move on to one that kind of does the opposite. Pressure Drop is a company that brew beautiful, wonderful, majestical beers in their North London brewery. And I personally first discovered Pressure Drop around 5 years ago in a lovely little beer shop in Leicester. And the first beer of Pressure Drops that I found was a beer called Woogang Chops the Tree. And I was actually only really enticed to buying this beer by the label. And as a sort of side point, people always talk about the fact that don't judge a book by its cover, but I'm always judging books by their cover. I'm always judging products by their cover. I judged these beers by their cover, and now I've got sort of this bizarre 5-long relationship with this company. So we should think twice about that saying. I'm not sure exactly how accurate that one is as a cliche, even though a lot of other cliches are useful. A little bit of information about me. I'm not actually that big on alcohol, and this is mainly due to a few problematic incidences from when I was younger, ranging from when I was in college, and there were a few attendances of college that were fueled by alcohol, and then also maybe the early years of uni were a bit damaged by my binge drinking of alcohol. Another reason for this sort of deterrence from drinking is my obsession with brain health. Alcohol, of course, is not ideal for brain health. It doesn't exactly? That's a brand new word. Well done, Jack, for inventing that. It doesn't exactly promote neuron growth like lion's mane elixir does. As far as I'm concerned, if I'm gonna drink alcohol, it has to at least taste good, rather than just being like a means to an end. And that is why I'm particularly interested in both craft beers and also whiskey. I actually had a little look at their website again recently, and they seem to have developed like a whole bunch of new, various, really different cans, and all of them just set my mouth absolutely watering. Drinking to enjoy the drink is such a different thing than drinking to get drunk. And with Pressure Drop, I only feel the need to have like one can every 2 weeks or so. Like I had a can recently, it's probably the one that motivated me to include Pressure Drop in this episode. I had a can whilst I was editing, and it was the first beer I'd had in a while, and it was just such a beautiful, lovely experience. If you like your beer, I really recommend you checking Pressure Drop out. Just Google them, go on their website, you can order the cans online, or check out your local fancy beer shop, your hipster beer shop, if you will, and you might be able to find some Pressure Drop in there, because as per the Lindy Effect, they've been around for like 5 years or so there's a chance they'll be around for another 5. Go check them out. Finally, an easy one, and it's a newish film called Palm Springs, starring Andy Samberg and Kristen Milioti. Andy Samberg, of course, you will probably know as the star of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, in which he's absolutely fantastic. He's so funny, and also you may also know of his satirical band Lonely Island. Kristen Milioti, on the other hand, probably most famous for her role as the mother in How I Met Your Mother. And that's not saying she hasn't done bigger and better things than that. It's just that was such a huge thing that we waited for so long to find out. For anyone who's watched How I Met Your Mother, the whole series is leading up to that moment. The concept for Palm Springs is not a new one. It involves, as we learned from the trailer, 2 characters who relive the same 24 hours over and over and over and over. And if I look back, apart from Groundhog Day itself, I can only really think of Russian Doll, the TV series on Netflix, that's done this concept well. The rest of them is just a bit unimaginative, and it's just a kind of poor imitation of Groundhog Day. Now though, I feel like we can finally add another film to the good list. Palm Springs is easily funny enough to warrant its creation, and Andy and Kristen just bounce off each other so well. I enjoyed the film all the way through. It's not a film that's going to blow your mind, but look, you don't always need your mind blown. Alright then, no long tail today. That's it for this week. Go and watch Palm Springs, sip on a Pressure Drop maybe, and then the next day you can drink a lion's mane elixir to salvage your brain cells. That's going to be it for now. Enjoy your week, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.